All right, good.
Right.
Let's make this fucking party start.
Okay, go live.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 197 of Lonely Gods. I'm your host, David, and I'm joined here, as always, by Kate.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Kate. Um, so this is the second week of our new setup, and the first week, there was a hiss. We heard the hiss. We're trying to fix that, but this does go out live, so we're working on it.
Nice hiss.
Anyway, um, we're here to, as always, talk about Doctor Who. And normally, starting off, Kate, do we have any Doctor Who news? I know the answer is probably I don't know. I haven't looked, but I have
Uh,
to ask.
well, you know what? I did try and be prepared this time, and I went to look
Yeah.
on the Big Finish site, and there's really fuck nothing. It's just announcements of like new releases and shit, which we're not paying much attention to anymore. So nothing for us,
No.
really. They're apparently their action figure sets have sold out, so good, I guess.
Doctor Who action figure sets or the Big Finish action figure sets?
The Big Finish Doctor Who action figure sets.
Interesting. Like, what are those of?
I think it's a Doctor and a Dalek 2 pack, and they had like a leather
What's
jacket.
so big?
They had like a leather jacket, Big
Finish
Finish Palm
figure.
again, when
Oh, okay, cool.
stuff like that. I guess I don't know. I didn't look into it because I don't really like. I don't for like. I'm a big fan and everything, but like as long as I own the show on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, like I'm not a big merch collector. I have some Star Trek.
It's cool to have something like on your desk or something, but
Yeah,
you only have so much space, and like, unless it's like really cool and like interesting, yeah, who kind of cares?
I mean I have some Star Trek ships and figures and stuff, but those were all things I was given. As far as Doctor Who stuff goes,
Yeah, most
I've got a little TARDIS and I've got a K9, and both of those were Christmas presents. The K9 says affirmative master if you push a button on him.
I have a canine. I used to have a plushy TARDIS that when you squeezed it made the noise, but I don't know where that is anymore.
Oh, see, that makes me jealous. Mine doesn't have. It's just a plastic thing with a door. And I've got a shitload of NASCAR diecast as well, but that's not actually cool. So
But they're not cool at all.
they're not cool at all. No, 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 they're not.
A
Not.
couple Disney shadow boxes.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a 3D, like think of like a picture, except instead of being a picture frame, it's a little box,
Oh,
and one of them has the hitchhiking ghosts from the haunted mansion, and there's a little light that you'll turn on, and the other one is Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey doing the on the
neat.
waterfall or like the pillar making fireworks in the sky and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't call it news, but the other thing is like the internet getting swept up in rumors of Chris Chinballs and Jodie leaving the show. But yeah, I don't know about that.
Don't discuss unsubstantiated rumors and speculation because it's boring and a waste of time.
Well, all I'll say about it is this: the sources of the rumor do have a track record of accurate new series spoilers, so they probably have a source. I don't know if that's not saying it's true, but either they have a source that's lying to them, or it's true, or the BBC knows who the leaker is and is like smoking them out. But anyway, the word is that the BBC came out and debunked the article, but that's not entirely true. What they actually did is that the Radio Times had an anonymous source of their own that debunks the anonymous source of the rumor. So, you like an anonymous source and an anonymous source doesn't amount to shit. So, I mean, really, it's the same thing as it always has been. And even if it's not true, I mean, I think from what I remember, I'm pretty sure that like even like on the record, people involved have said that Chinballs only wanted to do like one season anyway. So or 2 seasons, sorry. So I mean, this is probably near the end of their tenure to begin with. Anyway,
I don't know. I still haven't seen the new season.
I don't really give a fuck.
Not because I don't care. I know you don't care, but I do want to watch it eventually. There's just too much shit to watch.
Well, Well, see,
and
I think I
we're
think
gonna
I
get
think
there
the
eventually. So I'm gonna see it at
yeah. Well, I
some
mean, I
point in my
just think I
life.
think the new series, like quality or not, is having a problem with public interest lately. Like,
Yeah, because it comes out every like 2.5 years.
well, that's what
Like,
I'm saying. Like, it's there's way too many gaps where it's not on TV, and I think that they've lost the general audience because I mean, if you go back to like David Tennant and Matt Smith, you could not swing a dick without hitting Doctor Who stuff somewhere. Everybody loved Doctor Who. Everybody talked about Doctor Who. It was on top of the fucking world. Is everywhere. Now like Capaldi and Whitaker, like nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck.
oh, but Capaldi was so good.
He was a great doctor. He sometimes got really retarded scripts, but he's a great doctor. But I think I don't know. They lost the mainstream, and you never get him back. So, but yeah, they need to kind of have a presence on TV every year. And I maybe it's just like someone from the North American side of the pond that's used to like a 20 episode season, but there's really no reason they couldn't have Doctor Who of some kind on the air every year.
Yeah,
Like
and I
Moffat was, he was distracted with Sherlock, which wasn't a very good excuse, but it was an excuse. I don't know. Does the Chibnall have anything else going on? Is there a reason he's taken
um,
forever?
is he taking forever? Like,
He must be.
when did the last season end?
Son of a bitch. Let me find out.
We didn't get a Christmas special, did we? Did
You
we?
got a New Year's special, and apparently nobody liked it.
Whatever.
But see, but that's the thing. You didn't even
No
know.
one ever likes the Christmas specials.
Well,
No
no,
one ever likes the Christmas specials.
no. I mean, people made a big deal about Doctor Who like moving from the Christmas slot for the holiday special, but I mean, Christmas had been done to death. I will look this up.
I like a couple of them a lot.
Go vamp for a while I look this up.
I don't have anything to vamp about.
I don't know.
This is not interesting. Also, does it actually really matter? Because it is still an unsubstantiated rumor.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm just
Yeah.
shitting on the new series at this point. The finale for series 11 was December 9th of 2018, but we're not getting we're not getting a new season until 2020. So
They've been doing this for a while now, though, and it sucks.
it does suck. That's what I'm saying. It's
I wonder
been
why we get such short tenured doctors. Is like, even when it's you only do 3 seasons, that's still like 6 years.
yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. It's like no one's ever gonna. I mean, no one's ever gonna have a Tom Baker tenure ever again because that's insane, and they don't make TV like they used to. But, um, I feel like doctors like Capaldi. I feel like we're just getting warmed up when we got rid of him.
I wanted at least another season of Capaldi. Like, Matt Smith got like 4 seasons.
He got 3, but it felt like 4 because his reign, like he got series 5 was the only season he got that ran start to finish every week, the way that David Tennant did, and Christopher Eccleston did. His other 2 seasons were both those stupid half split seasons where you gotta wait 6 months. So season 7 covered, fall of 2012, and then into the late spring of 2013, and then there was the specials, and it just dragged on forever. So really, it was Matt Smith that kind of started that shit of taking stupid breaks, but I don't know.
I feel like the Capaldi seasons ran pretty straight through.
Well, they did, yeah, they ran straight through, but they weren't on every year.
Oh. Frustrating.
Yeah, I think so too. But nobody asks me. I mean, because there was a gap year for Capaldi too, because there was that one year where the only thing on was that Doctor Mysterio episode.
It wasn't terrible.
No, but I mean, it was the only Doctor Who that year, which is crazy.
That's not enough Doctor Who that year.
No. And it wouldn't have been a bad thing
Well,
if they still had, like, Torchwood or something to put in the gap, but they don't. They tried Class, and that didn't go anywhere.
Didn't go anywhere. I still need to finish that, but I'll probably finish it when we watch it for this.
Yeah, we'll see.
I why go back now?
I was actually going to bring up a topic of discussion for this shitty show. Because we shit on Doctor Who a lot, so I was curious, like, what is a positive enjoyment that you have gotten from doing the show? Because it's been nearly 7 years. So what has Doctor Who done for you?
I really enjoy watching Doctor Who, even when it's bad. Unless it's like boring, and then it's just frustrating. Um, I don't know, man. It's just entertaining. I like the idea a lot. Feel like, I don't know, especially like in college, like Doctor Who was like super popular and it was fun talking about it with people. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's become something fun that you and I talk about, and
That's true.
I enjoy doing this.
We scream into the void with no audience with each other.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. Yeah, it's hanging out with you has been a lot of fun. And to me, like, I think Doctor Who is a premise that has infinite life to it. When you build
Yes.
into the show that you can go anywhere, do anything, and rotate the cast as much as you like that's something that like doesn't ever have to die. But you need to, have good scripts as well, which every now and
Weird
again we have.
ideas.
Yeah, we have problems with that. But I mean, at least with the classic series, to me, part of the interesting thing is watching how they achieve some really out there ideas with very little money. And even when it doesn't work, like the Web Planet, good God, did they try?
My God, they tried.
They tried so hard and got so far, and in the end, it was terrible. Um, as well as because it ran for so long, you get to see kind of the way that television was made
Television
evolve
evolved.
over decades, and it's just super interesting.
It really is.
And
Doctor Who used to be so much slower than it is,
yeah,
even in where we are in the 80s.
for sure. I still think there's a happy medium to be had between a 7-part Hartnell and a 1 episode Capaldi
Even the
episode.
pacings of the episodes themselves, even just the pacing of a half-hour episode,
Mm-hmm.
like moved slower,
Well, and you can see in
especially with Hartnell.
yes, but you can even see like last season when they were doing hour episodes for Colin Baker, they clearly had no idea what to do with that format.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. Some weird stuff last season.
Well, Doctor Who is weird, and
Yeah.
that's part of the fun.
What about you? What do you get out of the show?
I just said, I just said, um, but I guess something I haven't said is yeah, I think I like that Doctor Who is bizarre. It's a lot of sci-fi shows tend to emulate Star Trek in one way or another, but Doctor Who predates Star Trek, and it's tends to have more fun with itself and try some really weird shit that Doctor Who or that Star Trek would never do. And like that's one of the reasons why I really like Farscape. Is it's when it's not being stupid, it's fun, which can go a long way because I think sometimes science fiction tends to take itself a little seriously sometimes.
Way too seriously at times. Yes. So I mean, so does fantasy.
Sure.
So, but I do agree, and I still feel like Doctor Who continues to surprise me at times. Um, like killing Perry off last week abruptly, suddenly, without warning.
Yeah, we haven't had one of those in a while.
You haven't.
The last, I mean, the only
I mean, technically, you could think of two others. Period.
well, the one that I think is the most similar is Katarina because she just airlocked herself out of nowhere. But even that's different because you
And
didn't know Katarina at all.
right. And Adric, of course, but like,
Adric got a long,
he at
dramatic
least was,
farewell, though. You know?
yeah, but he went out. Like he sacrificed himself. He didn't just die
Yeah.
suddenly.
I mean, I would have laughed my ass off if he had just dropped dead for no reason, because he's just that much of a shit brick. He was such a shit brick that his heart stopped out of guilt of being a shit brick.
Then you couldn't have grown up to become king of the bugs.
King of the scorpion people. You know, Big Finish has done a lot of good, but sometimes they got a lot to answer for.
Have a lot, babe. No, between that and fucking Necromantia.
Yeah, well, I mean, Necromantia I can write off as a failed experiment. A very failed experiment. One that leaked out of the beaker and, like, burned through the floor experiment. But the King of the Scorpion people, like, is one of the worst examples of like Big Finish just not. They don't have the control to just leave things alone. If there's any little bit of continuity they can pull on for some nostalgia bucks, they'll go after it like a dog with a bone.
Take everyone's least favorite companion and make him King of the Scorpions and the bad guy. That's how you want to. That's how you want to bring him up. Make him even more annoying.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Anyway, so this week we're talking about part 3, or whatever you want to call it, of Trial of a Time Lord.
That's parts 9 through
Terror
12.
of the Vervoids. Yes, 9 through 12. And we're introduced to a new companion already.
Yeah, well,
Which is very odd.
it's a revolving door in the TARDIS. As soon as somebody leaves, you gotta shove another person in.
I can't believe that the last episode ended with Perry and all of those people dying. And this one opens with Mel and the Doctor doing exercising.
80s exercising. 80s exercising on beige equipment with strange aerobics that probably don't work very well, and you would find at a VHS tape at a yard sale or something. But I'm glad that I'm not the only one that noticed Colin Baker got fat. It is weird.
I did notice that too. It was super noticeable this week.
Well, that and he needs a haircut.
Yeah. It just makes his head look really really big.
Yeah, it embiggens the sides of his head, so that's like a weird orb on top of his circus
Like,
neck.
why is he so round?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Mel's introduction, it's interesting. It's one of those things where, you know, we're skipping ahead to the future, I guess, after the trial, which I think opens up its own can of worms, because number one, why would the Doctor be allowed to view that and, like, pollute his own timeline? Number two,
how does he know about what happened?
How does he know? But well, I mean, he watched it. He watched it before presenting it to the court, but I don't know when he would have had time to do that, because as far as I know, he's been in the courtroom since they dragged him there. Number three, it never shows like when he met Mel, so there's like probably there's like 30 novels and audios and God knows what trying to establish like the first time they met. And number four, if he knows that he has a future after the trial, he knows that he wins the trial. And thus it deflates the tension.
Yeah, I'm still hung up on Mel, too. Just like, who is she? Where did she come from? Is she even human? I know there are lots of aliens that just look like humans.
She came from Pease Pottage, which is a little English village. So she's a human from Earth.
Where?
She's a human from England, Earth, in I believe a contemporary Earth. I think I don't remember. I know that her job is supposed to be that she's a computer programmer, but I mean, if you had told me that, I wouldn't have believed you.
I wouldn't either.
And I believe Bonnie Langford was a dancer and not an actress when they hired her, which is probably why she's doing weird aerobics. And if I didn't know that John Nathan Turner was gay, I would be wondering why he hired her. Because she's very annoying, but
I don't know. I kind of liked her.
it's a strange introduction for sure because it's just
You know
we're
who
just
she reminds
skipping
me
ahead.
a lot of?
Who?
Anna
Who?
Noble.
Oh, Donna. God, don't you besmirch Donna's name with Mel? How dare you?
It's just the attitude, the and I don't mean like sassy attitude. I mean like she's like a go-getter. Like she wants to do stuff. I mean, this is also a weird episode because it's been edited. Like the version we're seeing is not actually what parts of it aren't actually what happened either.
So the doctor claims.
Doctor, well, I mean, you're supposed to assume he's right, right? Is the hero.
I mean, maybe, but this being a future thing, maybe it is altering subtly as he makes different choices.
I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I don't know if the Matrix sees a future that is set in stone, like if it can only see fixed points, or if this is a fixed point, or if it's showing some kind of, maybe scenario. But even if it is a maybe scenario, then once the trial is over, does that mean that this doesn't actually happen, or what?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. That's the thing. This, like, in and of itself, if you take away the trial context and Mel kind of just turning up, the story itself, I think, is pretty good.
I like it. I like
But
the Vervoids.
it just opens up like so many like weird continuity holes that makes nerds crazy.
I'm willing to overlook them because I enjoyed this story.
Yeah, so did I, more or less. And I kind of, it's it's nice to have something that wasn't like super convoluted and was just
There's
a
still quite a
doctor.
bit going on.
There's a bit going on, but I guess what I'm saying it's not convoluted in format. There's not a lot of weird edits and intrusions from the trial the way that there was in Mysterious Planet. It's not setting up like some weird plot point to be picked up on later. It's not like Mind Warp where it was just fucking strange, and it's not built on continuity with like Syl. So it's a Doctor Who adventure, which is nice because
It is.
I don't gotta worry about it. I mean, again, if you remove the trial context entirely, like the actual like Vervoid flashback DVD viewing, whatever the fuck, within the trial, like it doesn't have anything to do with the trial. It's not setting up any plot points. It's not answering any plot points either. It's just the Doctor going,
It's
"Look at
totally
me doing
setting
this
up
thing." Like
plot.
it's a standalone.
But I get what you're saying.
It's
And I agree, and which I like the standalone story too. I mean, it's not. I feel like we've forever hit the point where nothing in Doctor Who is going to feel super unique,
well, no,
and even the stuff that was, and when we get to like the new series and stuff, even the stuff that was unique at the time will no longer feel unique because we've seen those episodes a bunch of times.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, I've always maintained that a good script will remain good over time, and you know, if all you were doing is relying on a novelty, it probably wasn't a good story to begin with.
Story did a really good job introducing not getting hung up on specific details, and what I mean by that is like it had a decent sized cast, so there were lots of things going on to pay attention to, and we didn't have to get hung up on any specific characters or places or for long periods of time, which is where Doctor Who can really stumble to, is focusing on characters we don't give a shit about. Which is of course also hard to do when you're only seeing these people, for a few episodes and then they're gone forever. Like, I think this story does a really good job setting up. The Doctor and Mel have stumbled onto this ship that is in transit. There is a botany experiment going on the ship, which, wait, wasn't Perry? No, Perry was a marine biologist, right?
No, she was a botanist.
Was a botanist. Why did we get rid of Perry before the botany story?
I don't know. They killed her off one too soon, I guess.
It was like you literally had a botanist, and she doesn't get to be around for the botany story, which is one story later.
If I'm honest with you, I think they just forgot. Cause,
They
cause
already
like, when did
forgot.
Perry ever be a botanist on the show? Like, Big Finish kind of remembers sometimes, but the show, like,
I don't know, man. I can hope, right?
eh.
I can hope it's more than just like, well, she can't just be a girl.
Well,
She has to be something.
I guess, but I mean, going forward, count how many times Mel is gonna compute any programs. So, yeah.
Hey, man, Adric did a shit ton of math.
Yeah, he did do a math. My god, they fucking sunk their teeth into that and never let that go. He had an excellence in mathematics fucking star badge. So that they could identify him when they're marching him to the ovens of bad boys.
I feel like Nissa did a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, well, Nissa was like a scientist
But
and a
I also
medic, so I mean that stuff like comes up more.
I don't remember how much of that's in the show versus all of the fucking audios where she was doing all of the things.
Well, yeah, all of the fucking audios where she's searching for a disease cure for like 3 years straight of fucking audios, most of which have nothing to do with anything.
Anyway, back on topic. So, but on the ship, there people are getting murdered, like disappearing seriously, dying, um, and the doctor has met the commander of the ship before.
Apparently.
Um, not really. I thought he had.
Well, I mean, I think he has, but I don't believe we have.
Right. That's what I meant, though. The doctor had,
Right. Okay.
not on screen. Though, which is confusing because we don't know. It. I don't like when they do this when they don't explain. Like, wait, when uh, did this doctor do that? Did a different doctor do that? Like, what's going on?
I would probably suspect it was 60 because like they didn't mention like, oh, you look different, or anything like that. So
Yeah. But then, like, we've been with him for so much. I don't know. I wonder if there's an audio.
I mean, probably. I mean, I'm sure there's a fucking audio for a third Vervoid from the left at this point. So, I mean, last month was Big Finish's 20th anniversary, so they've been pumping shit out for like what 240 months now.
There's also other aliens on the ship getting mining rights.
Yep.
They're weird costumes.
Yeah, they've got like weird fucking Daft Punk costumes, and their planet, I guess, is being strip mined, and they're not a big fan of that, so they're trying to make it so that's not what's going on. So they like try and hijack the ship.
Well, eventually everything starts breaking down, and they decide to take the moment to hijack the ship because they're scared and stuff. There is a lot going on in this episode. It's like you said, it's not super complicated, but like there's an experiment gone wrong because they have created the Vervoids, which are like humanoid plant things, and they've gained sentience, and they want to kill all animal life because animals eat plants.
Animals do eat plants.
Then there's also the mining stuff, which because there's this big mystery going on, it makes it seem like it's more complicated than it is, but it's really just the two separate, with the mining stuff and the head of security deciding to side with the aliens.
Then there was also there was the mineralogist who was pretending to not be a mineralogist and then got killed anyway.
He wasn't a mineralogist. He was like a government agent.
Oh, okay.
Remember? Because
yes, barely. I barely remember the thing that I watched this morning because I'm losing my mind.
To be a mineralogist, and then he like jumped into the trash compactor or whatever.
Oh, that's right. I like that trash compactor. It looks like the thing where you throw the GLaDOS cores into in Portal. I dig it.
And And then he was in one of the robot suit or one of the alien suits,
Oh,
and he
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
poisoned.
yeah, yeah. That's right. See, I watched the show.
Which is, and he did that because he had met the doctor before, and he didn't want the doctor to know that he was there because he was undercover.
Yeah, which is great for a character we've never seen before.
Yes. Um, but then it doesn't matter because the I don't remember what did they do to the aliens because they just bring the masks.
It seems like they threw water on them and they died. Like that's what it looked
Oh,
like. It looked like somebody tossed a glass of water at them from off screen and they just died. Um, the explanation, I believe, is that oxygen is poisonous to them, so I guess they threw water and the oxygen in the water killed them or something.
oh,
But
I
it
don't.
was very hilarious looking, to be honest with you.
I didn't love that part. I didn't. That was the one part of the plot I didn't care for. I was like, we just kind of like set this up, and then just like with the water, like I felt like it was like hand waved away.
Um,
Like,
what wasn't there a point where somebody was gonna fly the fucking ship into a black hole or something? Like that was a cliffhanger,
that's
right?
yes, the bad guy, the one who turned out to be behind everything.
The security chief.
No, it wasn't the security chief. It was the other guy. I thought flying into the black hole.
I don't fucking care anymore.
Then they were also gonna fly by the black hole to save time,
Yes.
and then like they flew directly into the black hole, and then were just fine.
Okay, so who was the weird half plant person they kept in a jar and just screamed every time somebody opened the locker she was in?
That was just someone else that disappeared.
She got she was she no she was one of the botanists and she got like infected with Vervoid because she had a open cut
Yeah.
and so she became a half
Oh right,
plant that
yes.
just screams all the time. I
It
guess.
was really unsettling. Like I didn't
Yeah,
like it being on screen.
it was. Yeah.
Haven't the Vervoids come back?
Well, you see, Big Finish Productions love stories. Uh,
Yeah, but
the Vervoids
they're not
haven't.
something I want to hear. They're something I want to see.
The Vervoids haven't come back because the masks were taken to look like vaginas.
They kind of do, but that's because they're flowers.
Yeah, but I think that
And
close to 40 years of vagina jokes is not gonna do them any favors.
well, I mean, like some of the fucking clickers in um Last of Us also looked like that, and that no one cared.
Yeah, that's also something intended for adults and not a family show.
I guess that's true. Whatever, man. I like the
I I
plants. The plants are creepy. Plants are creepy.
I think it's neat too. I mean, I don't think it's that bad, but I can see it, and I can understand why they've been a joke. Cause
I
there's
like
so
it. They
there's like
people can fuck off.
there's like four guys in the Vervoid costumes, and like three of them act normally, and then one of them is always like jerking their limbs around and like wobbling on the spot. Because I guess they're acting like a
Very,
monster.
very.
It's very strange. I don't know. Like the epileptic Vervoid is my favorite. 'Cause it's
He's always like dancing around. It's very odd.
and like opening and closing his little flower fingers and being a fucking goof, earning his
I like
pay.
it quite a bit.
He's probably thinking to himself inside that sweaty vagina mask, if I act the shit out of this, the director will notice, and I'll this is my big break on Doctor Who as this fucking pussy flower. Man, what a show!
So then, so as much I did really I like the story itself. The trial of the Time Lord stuff. This is when it gets a little weird. Because the whole trial keeps coming down to, oh, the doctor, like, he's interfering without consent, he's going against the wishes of these people,
It's causing
he's
death
not
and
just helping.
destruction. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking everything up.
And he
And
got he
this whole
got
moment,
Perry killed. It was totally his
yeah,
fault.
it was not his, which totally was not his fault. It was the Time Lord's fault for taking him away.
No, and I think, but I think in a sense, because this story is the previous two were the Valiard going, oh, look at this, look at these terrible things he do, but this story was the Doctor's like evidence for his own defense, right? I mean, I think that's why this is such a like a standard normal Doctor Who adventure. I think he's trying to show the Time Lords like that shit doesn't usually happen that way. Like this is kind of more what we get up to, and we're trying to help people, and you know. But the Valiard is like, so you killed all the Vervoids, and he's like, yeah. And he's like, so you committed genocide. It's like, oh. So now he's on trial for genocide. So that really worked out well.
Which is, it's weird too because like, yes, um, kind of. Also, um,
They were manufactured beings that posed an imminent threat to people on the ship.
yeah. It's like, you know where we also did this is the first episode of the new series when Christopher Eccleston's Doctor totally kills all the plastoids.
Does he kill all the Autons?
Yeah, remember he like they throw like the chemical thing into the big like heart.
Well,
And, like,
no, I know
dies.
that, but like, does that kill all of the Autons? We haven't had any Autons
I
since
don't
then, have
know,
we?
but
No, we did because Rory turned
What
into an Auton.
no. But what I'm not saying like it's genocide. I'm saying that it's like I guess because they only existed in this one small part, but like he's taken out a threat like this before. Well, I mean,
Oh yeah, he
Twitter
always
and
has.
stuff, like,
He always has.
yeah,
Although I guess the Time Lord perspective, you could argue maybe, is that, you know, they don't value humans over Vervoids, and he's not supposed to interfere with either of them.
then the Vervoids would have come for them eventually.
Yeah, well, that's the Time Lord's problem, I guess, isn't it? But yeah, they I guess they make some gas that makes the plants age, and they turn down the lights to infrared because it makes
and
them
make it out
slow.
of metal.
Oh, they make it out of metal, right? No, the
Yeah.
thing they mined from the mining. It all ties in.
Yes.
That's right. They made them into like perfectly round cartoon bombs, which I
They
appreciated.
fucking killed everyone, and then they're like composting the bodies, and it's a really intense scene for Doctor Who.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
it's
cool.
not like super gross or anything, just conceptually.
Conceptually, it's kind of hardcore. Yeah, I really like the
Doctor Who
effects.
doesn't get to do that a lot.
I like the effects of the aging Vervoids, all the, like because they're got like leafy green suits on under their vagina masks, and like all the leaves on them like age brown, and one of them like dissolves and decays, and like that, and they do that all like on screen. I'm not really sure how they accomplished that actually, because it's a pretty good effect, and there's not like I didn't notice any cuts where you cut from a green suit to a brown suit. It seems like the color actually changes on them. I don't know if they did that with lighting or some kind of chemical or it's cool though. Hi, Dave. Okay. No Dave. Good. I've killed him. Killed him with my boring...
I've been talking.
Oh, have you? Why?
Yes.
Well, you'll have to talk it again, because I heard nothing.
Sorry. Yes. I think I said it twice already, and I'll say it again this week. The sets, the costumes, the special effects this season have been really good. They've been doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the designs, the story. I really like the special effects. I even like the weird black hole that doesn't look anything like anything we think a black hole should look like, but still look neat.
I mean, a black hole is such a fucking strange phenomenon. Like, I would buy almost anything.
But not that.
Yeah. It's like a red
It's
strobe
weird,
effect
like,
or something.
purple and red, like crisscrossing lines, just like flashing and like spinning.
It's it's probably like some weird gases in the accretion disk or whatever.
I really liked it.
That's giving them an out they don't deserve.
It doesn't look like a black hole, but I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean,
So,
I don't know. The trial season seems to get a lot of shit, and I'm not really sure why.
or maybe it's the last two episodes ruin the whole story.
Well, maybe. But I like this one, and I think one of the things I liked about it is the mystery plot structure of like a murder mystery, um, which I think like this could have easily have devolved into a base under siege, but it didn't.
Yeah.
And it was a structure that they used in Robots of Death, which is a much better episode and a much more intelligent script than this one. But I still like this one on its own merits, and I think they use the same structure fairly well. What I
Yeah, you know
liked,
what they do? Do a pretty good job, and I like the idea that especially in this one, the mystery isn't. It's not a mystery to us. We, the audience, pretty much know what's going on the whole time, but it's a mystery to the characters, and like they're uncovering stuff.
and the thing is that there's not just one culprit. Like everybody in this
Yeah,
on the ship has dirty hands in some way or another.
it also works really well because, like, at a certain point, certain characters in the story think that the problem's solved, like after the takeover or whatever, and it's like, no, 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 there's something much bigger going on.
Yeah, I think
Created a new form of life, and it wants to kill everyone.
yeah, I think at some point people are arguing over like the mining plot, and they're like, I don't care about that right now. Like, there's weird plant monsters coming to kill everyone. I don't give a fuck about the mining.
Yeah.
I just want to say though that this story is weirdly obsessed with exercise.
Yes, the weird '80s gym.
The weird like because like the opening scene like within the story is Mel and the Doctor doing exercises in the TARDIS because the Doctor is fat. And then Mel goes like on the space liner, like she goes to the gym there, and it's like a weird '80s gym. And there's like 5, 6 scenes there. There's one where Mel's just working out, and there's one where like the scientist lady, she's working out, and she doesn't want to talk to the Doctor until her workout is finished. God damn it! And it's like, the fuck kind of fitness nut wrote this story?
You brought that up. Can we talk about the female Doctor who I guess actually created the Vervoids and like is a total red herring because it seems like we're being set up to believe she's the ultimate evil and no, it's the Weasley guy.
She did have people
And
killed though, I thought.
I don't know.
She was
It was
complicit in
weird.
shit, but she wasn't. She kind of.
And then she's like, "No, I have to talk to them." And she walks up and she's like, "You know who I am?" And they're like, "Yes, you're our creator, murder." It's good.
Yeah, I like that they had her reading Murder on the Orient Express because I'm stupid, and I don't understand subtlety.
TV in the '80s.
Yeah, well, look, by TV in the '80s we had Hill Street Blues and like MASH and stuff, so there was TV that wasn't stupid.
Yeah, but most TV was stupid.
Yeah, but Doctor Who should be held to a higher standard because it's stupid.
Doctor Who has always been stupid.
It's
Never forget the Daleks were gonna take the core out of the planet and drive around.
but and then they triumphed in that with the like stolen Earth, like they actually fucking did it. Those crazy bastards. Like 30 years later, they did it.
I love Doctor Who.
Oh my god. I like
One
I
of my
honest
favorite parts of the joking is that we now have that joke.
well between that and giant ants
That
with people
giant
legs.
people legs.
No more gods and no more fish people. What joy this has brought to us. I gotta tell you, I'm really starting to think the only difference between Red Dwarf and a Doctor Who script is just a fucking laugh track.
Yeah, kinda. And the theme song.
I also love Red Dwarf. I don't know if I love Red Dwarf more than Doctor Who. Maybe.
I don't, because the parts of Red Dwarf that are bad are way worse than the parts of that like.
Eh.
when comedy's bad, it's really bad.
It's true. That's true. But I feel like the parts of Red Dwarf that got bad was when they tried to turn it into like a dramedy sci-fi show and be more serious. Which is why at least when they came back, like they remembered that they were supposed to be funny. But anyway.
Get it like half right.
Anyway.
Um,
Anything else
so
to say?
next up, we have
Okay.
we're gonna finish. We'll be all done with 60.
Yeah,
So
for
we
now.
come back for audios eventually.
Uh-huh. It's also the season finale for season 23. And if you think this season is bad, just you wait.
Oh, don't say that.
Just you wait.
Love Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, well. Not everybody can have everything in life. But anyway,
We're almost there. I've been waiting so long, and we're almost there.
been waiting
We're
for
finally gonna
7
watch The
years.
Happiness Patrol.
Yeah, we will. But that's after he
I'm so excited.
that's after he gets good though. His first season is interesting. Anyway, but first we have our last Colin Baker TV story, which is The Ultimate Foe, and it's only 2 episodes.
I'm willing to suffer through a bad season of Doctor Who, especially because we just got through. We're almost done with a pretty good season, which oh my god we needed after the last stuff.
Yeah, it's refreshing and tasty.
Did like the Fat Elvis Dalek story.
The Fat Elvis Dalek story? Oh,
Oh,
the DJ.
yeah, the DJ.
He
Sorry.
killed them with the power of rock. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was incredibly stupid,
Great.
but it was great. Oh lordy, do you want to do anything with Ultimate
Yeah.
Foe because it's only 2 episodes or not?
What else would we do?
I have no idea. Probably some kind of audio.
Why would you suggest that and have nothing available?
Because
for suggestion?
there's so many audios available for suggestion.
Okay, but you know what? You're the one who knows this stuff. You tell me what to listen to. You're not like.
I don't know, man.
It's basically like,
Fuck.
Dave, what Star Trek would you like to watch? I'm like, I don't know, man. You're the expert. You tell me.
Listen. How about never mind, because you've mocked me and now I'm mad at you. Fine. Good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And we will be back next time with the end of the Trial of the Time Lord. Bye, everyone.